Here you go. When you think about lies of a relationship, in a relationship, what do you think of? Cheating, drug habits? What about money? Growing up, money was always the first issue between my mom and dad, and when I was younger, there were always purchases with the inclusion of, don't tell your mom or don't tell your dad or else they'll get mad. Eventually, this came to a head, and they had to take a break. Think back on your own experiences. Have you, or even just someone you know, lied about large purchases? If you can think of a situation, think of how it ended. Think of how it ended. Overdue credit cards, insurmountable debt, failed marriages. It's not something that anyone would want. My speech will detail how large purchases affect couples and how to properly avoid them. I'll begin with teaching you about the concept of altruistic lies. Then I'll provide examples of how lies about large purchases affect romantic relationships and cause altruistic lies. Finally, I'll give advice on how to navigate around it in healthier ways. According to the Essential Communication 101 textbook, altruistic lies are lies that are non-malicious or even helpful in intent to the person who it is being told. Altruistic lies, though well-meaning in intent, often cause stress in relationships, especially when involving money. If and when these lies are uncovered, even though the person is lying meant well in doing so, the other party often feels betrayed, especially when talking about money. One partner may lie about a large purchase in order to protect both themselves and their partner should they find out. Whenever I myself use altruistic lies, I often find myself feeling as if I shouldn't have even done so in the first place, because those lies simply end up hurting whomever I did lie to. Now that you have a better understanding of altruistic lies, I'm going to discuss how they affect romantic relationships. In a 2018 article from Psychology Today, the author states that altruistic lies, like making vague statements and telling half-truths, is deception that deprives the intimacy and honesty within the relationship. Sometimes I lie to my girlfriend about how much a meal costs or how much a video game costs when I purchase it for her, because I don't want her feeling as if she owes me. Upon hearing the real cost, she often feels worse than if I had originally told her, and she starts to wonder what other things I've been hiding from her. After using an altruistic lie with my girlfriend, I found that her trust in me is greatly reduced in all aspects of the relationship, financial and otherwise. Whenever I've used altruistic lies, it was always in an attempt to dissuade whoever I was lying to from worrying, but in the end, we always hurt our partners more than we helped them. I found a dissertation paper by Mary Kaplar that she used to defend her PhD called Lying Happily Ever After, Altruistic White Lies, Positive Illusions, and Relationship Satisfaction. And in it, Kaplar states that without an assumption of honest communication between oneself and one's partner, the relationship may not feel close. In the same dissertation paper, Mary stated that discovered lies between intimates can lead to uncertainty about the relationship and the erosion of trust. Lying and dishonesty more often than not has a bad outcome, no matter the gravity of the lie. A tactic for avoiding altruistic lies is before using them, ask yourself if that lie will lead to either short-term relief or simply end up in long-term strain for the relationship. Another tactic you can use is if you have lied, come clean. Tell your partner immediately rather than letting the lie get worse and worse. Thinking about the short term is always easier than thinking about the future. During this speech, we've discussed the concept of altruistic lies, the situations in which altruistic lies occur, especially with money, and how to navigate around those lies for a healthier relationship. But the truth may cause strain between you and your partner. Financial honesty and honesty in general between one another creates the basis for all honesty, of which healthy relationships can sprout and thrive. Thank you.